Friends, as you can see, we have a full cart here with 35 items. Santa's sleigh is very heavy. I don't know if we're going to even take off and make it into the night sky. We might remain grounded because of the weight of this cart. But the point of this video is to walk you through what's in my cart and my rationale for what I'm going to take out of my cart. Because what I like to do is put everything in that's on my mental wish list, everything I can imagine that I want at that point, and then kind of whittle it back to the ones that I think I really, really want and I'm going to enjoy. And as far as makeup products that I actually need, because I have all the makeup in the world that I could ever want. I have all the fragrance in the world that I could ever want. But with makeup, there are certain things that you kind of run out of or you want a backup of because you know you're going to run out of it soon. So anyway, we are on the homepage and I do like to look at the new for you section and check these out. So I will go into this shop now and see what is on the lists and whether I want to add those to carts. I just wanted to share that with you. But let's go into the cart itself. All right, here we are in the very full cart at this point. So I hear a lot of people talk about this Fenty Skin Butter Drop Cinnamon Shimmering Whipped Oil. It's $46 for a pretty big 7-ounce container. And this sounds delicious. Like cinnamon oil, whipped oil in a body cream form for me. Oh my God, warm cinnamon at that. Look at this, warm. My issue is I don't really use a lot of oil or body butters or lotions. I have some. In my mind, I want to use them every day. In reality, I barely reach for them. I have been using that Neutrogena fragrance-free sesame seed oil thing. I think it's sesame seeds, some kind of sesame oil. I've been using that some on my arms in the morning, and on occasion I will use lotion. However, I don't use enough body butter and lotion and all of that to really justify adding this to my collection. So I'm going to move this to the love section and think about it some other time. Here's the Yves Saint Laurent Couture Mini Clutch Eyeshadow Palette. How cutie patootie is this? Let's actually take a look at this. But look, okay, look. $68? Lord have mercy. Look how tiny this thing is. And I've bought expensive eyeshadows like this before. That's not an issue. I've bought Tom Ford quads. I like the details on this. I really like this sort of quilted exterior. I think that is really good looking with the emblem in there. And the eyeshadows themselves, they look like eyeshadows that I would actually put on my eye. I absolutely detest these little things. Who uses them? Like, let's get with the program, makeup companies. No one uses those little things, and they are a waste of time and space. I'd rather just not have that contraption there. So there's a more close-up look of maybe along the lines of my skin tone and what the shadows might look like on my eyes. I have colors like this 1,000 times over, and so I am going to do myself the favor of removing that item. I don't need it. Next up is Kilian Paris Smoking Hot. Smoking. Every time I see the word smoking, I think of Jim Carrey in whatever movie that was in where he was wearing like the green outfit. Smoking. Anyway, we have a 1.7 ounce for a whopping $290. So you get a little bit under $60 off of this. So it'll be right in like the, what, 232 range. I still think that's pretty expensive for a 1.7 ounce. Let's go take a look at the notes here. I've heard a lot about this and I've heard mixed reviews from some of my gals here on YouTube. It has hookah flavor, tobacco absolute, bourbon, vanilla, pure jungle essence. Somebody really needs to help me understand what the heck jungle essence is. I like that it's in the warm and spicy family. I like that they describe it as the newest smoky fragrance, a truly caramelized delight. Yeah, and it features this intense bourbon vanilla. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. Have you tried this? I'm convinced that I want it, and so therefore, I think this is going to stay in the cart. So we're going to leave Smoking Hot in the cart. Let's go next to Ellis Brooklyn Apple Love, which has been described as more floral than fall apple cinnamony, which is maybe more what I was hoping for. But truth be told, I have a lot of apple cinnamon fall fragrances. So I'm going to try to pick up a travel spray of this. You know, travel sprays are getting more and more expensive. 0.34 ounce for $33. You used to be able to get a travel spray for $20 to $25. Those days are over, friends. So we're looking at $33, and I think I want to try this. I will say this. Part of what attracts me to this is what the full-size bottle looks like. This is so pretty to me. The red, apple love, the words apple and love together are just so cute to me. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's the truth. And yeah, I don't know that I'm ready to commit to a full bottle. So we're going to stick with the travel spray. Now, if this comes quickly and I enjoy it, I will go ahead and order a full bottle if they're still available. I can't imagine that this is one that's going to sell out. Next, we have this Pat McGrath Mothership Bijou Brilliance Starstruck Splendor Full Face Palette. What is it with Pat McGrath and these ridiculously long names? So I would normally be looking at something like this because I went through a phase where I wanted to collect all the Pat McGrath palettes and I wanted to collect all the Natasha Denona palettes. Here's the thing. I have these colors in my collection already. Maybe these greens are worth picking up. I'm at a point where I do not like the fact that palettes contain multiple types of products in one. So these are, I think, cheek products, blushes. Now, I've gotten to a point in my life where I'm happy to use blush on my eye, and I'm happy to use eyeshadow as blush. You know, these are just powders at the end of the day. It really doesn't matter where on your face you use them, as long as you like the look. My issue is that I don't really need these overall, and I really, 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 really dislike the packaging. This whole look here with the bow thing, I don't like the shape of the packaging. It's probably cardboard. Not that cardboard's a problem, but when you put that together with the look of the package and this bow thing, I think it's just a little bit tacky. So I think the packaging overall is not for me. And I have this color story 10 times over from both Pat McGrath and other brands. And we got a whopping $76 price tag. And so you get, let's see, $14.20 on top of that. So $15.20 off of this is just not enough savings for me. Did I calculate that right? It's not enough savings for me to bother. And I don't like the packaging. So this is a no. So let's go on and remove that. I'm not even going to add it to Loves, just remove it. Next, we have this Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Niacinamide. Cyanide. We don't want to be putting cyanide on our face, friends. Niacinamide. Dewdrops. This is the 2.7 ounce. It's a whopping $50, $49, so you get a little under $10 off. I really do like these glow drops. They feel really good on the face, really moisturizing. I like the thick texture of them. It's a very viscous formula, you know, almost like a gooey formula, and I like it. It feels really good and cooling, and I like the kind of artificial watermelon smell, so that is going to stay. Next, we're going to go to Paula's Choice 25% Vitamin C Glutathione. Wow. Clinical serum, 1 ounce for $62. I have an issue with vitamin C in that it typically stinks, like it just smells in the bottle, but I've heard a lot of good things about this. However, I have so many other serums, some of which are in this cart that I really enjoy and want to use first. And for me, there's only so many products, y'all, I can put on my face. Okay, I can do like a toner, I can do an essence, and then I can do a serum and a moisturizer. Goodness gracious, that's 4 products at night. And 4 products again in the morning after I wash my face and before I put on my makeup. That's plenty, and so I'm going to say goodbye to Paula's Choice. Next up, Makeup by Mario, this Ethereal Eyes eyeshadow palette. Let's go check it out. Let's look at it. Here's the thing about this palette. I already purchased Natasha Denona's I Need a Nude palette, which has very similar colors. Perhaps not quite as warm as perhaps these, especially this one here. That's a really nice warm color. This is a nice warm color here too. And then this has some warmth to it, although I would say this one is more like a neutral color of brown. Now, some of the examples that are shown of the eye looks, I can get in other palettes. I don't really need this one. I had a mild obsession with the look of this palette when it was first released, but the bottom line is I do have these colors, and friends, this one has gotten mixed reviews. Some people love it, and a lot of people say that these shimmer formulas are more like toppers, or some of them are toppers. Anyway, it's a little bit problematic, and at a $68 price tag, even with the 20% off, I find this to be an expensive palette, and one that I have, you know, colors of in other palettes, so I'm going to remove and say goodbye to that. I'm keeping my Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. This one is in peppermint, and I'm getting 2 because I like to have these all over the house, and I'm going through mine pretty quickly. So that one stays. Then we have the Tatcha Indigo Cleansing Balm. Let's go take a look. I like the packaging on this. I think this sort of pearlescent blue is really nice. This picture is frightening. I mean, I don't know. This is so gross. We could have done without that. I like the way the consistency looks in these pictures. I can sort of feel it in my mind's hands. The texture of this. And I went through a phase where I was hating on Tatcha products because of the price. And now I'm really, as I get older and have a couple more dollars to throw away on products like this, I'm really enjoying the packaging and the whole aesthetic of it. So let's go back here. I'm going to keep it in the cart. This is $38 for 2 ounces. I'll probably go through that in 3 or 4 weeks, but I'm going to keep it. Next up is my Pat McGrath Dark Star Volumizing Mascara. I'm getting 2. This is a staple in my collection. I do love the hourglass wand on this one. Look at that. This type of wand here is my zhuzh. And I like that this formula is a little bit drier in texture. They don't have a picture of anybody? Okay, here we go. It's like, where's the picture of the person using it? Look at, that's exactly what it does to my eyelashes. Maybe not quite that perfect. Obviously, this is an advertising photo, but you get the idea here. I like that it's a drier formula, and so it's much easier to use. Let's see what's going on with Naomi. Go ahead,
I have
Naomi.
the simplest taste.
Do you? I don't believe you.
I'm always satisfied with the best.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oscar Wilde. Dark Star, the new mascara by Pat McGrath Labs.
Okay. All right, Naomi. We see you. We see you. Okay. All right. So these are staying in the cart. Next up, Tom Ford's Soleil de Feu. 1.7 ounces for $295. Tom Ford, you're breaking my heart. You're breaking my bank. So this says it's earthy and woody. I really think it's a nice warm fragrance. Tuberose, sandalwood, benzoin. Let's see how they describe this. They describe it as inspired by bronze strokes of fiery sunset light. Captures a burnished sensuality with tuberose accord, warm ambers, and exotic sandalwood. It's very much an ambery tuberose to me. So much to my wallet's dismay, I think I am keeping the Soleil de Feu in my cart here, and this one is not available on discount sites yet, and so I may go ahead and take the plunge. I'm going to get a little bit under $60 off of this, so it's going to put me in the $230 to $240 range, which is still pricey for 1.7 ounces, but I'm with it. Now, this is just foolishness. Me adding this Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Unlocked in the snake color. Snake. I have the medium version of this. This one is for deeper skin tones. I mean, you can wear whatever you want. Doesn't matter what your skin tone is. I have this. Do I have that? Yes, I have that color in the owl packaging, because you could customize the owl packaging. This is supposed to be for the lighter one, and this is supposed to be for deeper skin tone. So I was looking at this one here, and truth be told, I don't need another Hourglass palette. I didn't need the darn owl palette that I purchased. So we are going to remove this one for now. Let's go look at this Danessa Myricks Beauty Lightwork 5 I Am palette. I Am palette? Is that what it's called? I Am? Oh, I'm so silly. I Am. It's called the I Am palette. Not I Am palette. Not like I am. Anyway, let's go look at it. This is $125. I do not care for the outer packaging of this. The inside looks interesting. So she gives you the different color stories by skin tone here, how it looks. This is a little dramatic for me at this point in my life. I'm really not using a ton of different colors, and I have plenty of palettes that have these kinds of colors in them already. I don't need another one. I barely use the really fun colors that I have. So I'm not into makeup being an affirmation thing, but I love Danessa Myricks. She's a beautiful lady. Her spirit is so fantastic. Go check her out on Instagram. I don't need my makeup to counsel me. I don't need therapy through my makeup. So I'm not into that part of things. And the truth of the matter is I likely would not use this as much as I think. And so for that reason, we are going to remove that. I am keeping my Tatcha Kissu lip mask. This is in the, I was going to say flavor, the color Deep Wisteria. Look at this. Look at it. How cute is that packaging? I really like this formula a lot. So this is staying. The Pharmacy Honeymoon Glow AHA Resurfacing Night Serum. This is expensive. 1 ounce for $60. However, friends, I really like what this does to my face. I put it on at night. It tingles a little bit, and if you're sensitive, it might burn you. So be careful with this if you're not used to having these sort of active products on your skin. But I am used to it, and I love this. It probably lasts me 6 weeks or so if I just do a modest pump in the evenings. This is one I do use at night and before my heavy, like, emollient moisturizer. So this is staying. Next is Thé Vanille, which means tea vanille, from Net. And this one is, fairly expensive too. I mean, our idea of expensive has changed as prices have gone up. And it's like, it's the analogy of the frog. Is it the frog in the pot that's boiling, or is it a lobster in the pot that's boiling? I don't remember what kind of creature is in there. But the idea that you don't even realize the pot is boiling because the temperature gets hotter and hotter incrementally until it's too late and you're in it, you're dying. The same thing is happening with these fragrance prices, friends, to the point where we think $120 for a 1.7 ounce is reasonable. We think that's affordable. Isn't that insane? But let's go take a look at this fragrance here. I just realized I did not put these fragrances in my fragrance recommendations video that I posted on the other channel. And that was a silly mistake. What is wrong with me? I'll go add it into the description box. I was trying to get that one done way too quickly. This is classified as warm and spicy. I do get a bit of a spice, but more than anything, a nice warm vanilla. This is they call it creamy mineral. I wouldn't call it mineral. Touch of matcha tea. Yes, it's a little bit of tea and vanilla. Really good fragrance. I think it's warm. It's a fun fragrance in the sense that it's lighthearted on your skin, but still very much like a huggable fragrance. My husband loves this on me, so I'm definitely going to grab a bottle of that. Now, this Dior Backstage eyeshadow palette. This is the Nude Essentials. Let's take a closer look. On the surface, I really like this color story. But let's be real. Once again, do I have these colors? 1 billion, gazillion, trillion, fulfillion, all of the things. And yes, I have this. And for $52 for this little tiny palette, let me see if they can actually show you, if they do actually show you the size of the palette. They don't show you the size of the palette in the pictures, which I think is deceptive. This fits in the palm of your hand. This is a tiny palette. And so, from a marketing standpoint, Dior, you failed. You really need to show the size of the package. Now, you could go look at the size here and kind of make a determination about how big you think it is. But I really do think transparency in advertising is key for me. And I don't appreciate that they do not show the size of this palette to customers. And nonetheless, I just don't need this. So let's remove that. Remove. Now, back to Danessa Myricks. Ooh, this yummy skin blurring balm powder. This is in the color 5. I've had the color 4, which I highlighted here. So here is what the color 4 looks like on the model. And when I do self-tanning, I'm a little bit more sort of golden and warm than that. And so therefore, I'd like to pick up the color 5, which is more in this skin tone family. And I love this. This stuff is really good. It lasts a long time. I like the texture of it. I love that all the models are super happy in these pictures. Anybody else notice that? So anyway, I'm kind of between this 4 and 5 color here, but I'm going to go with the 5. The 4 is maybe a little light for me when I'm self-tanned. Now, normally, by the way, I'm a pale, ghostly child. I'm probably in this skin range when I am not self-tanned. And that is why I self-tan. And so I'm sort of in between these two tones, maybe even a little bit of this sort of warmer tone here. But anyway, we're going to keep Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder. I don't need this, by the way. I have more foundation than I know what to do with, but I like this. And it's easy reach. Now, I do need this Shiseido eyelash curler. Mine are falling apart, those little rubber parts that you put in your eyelash curler. So I'm going to keep that in there for $6. Let's go back to Danessa, her Groundworks Defining Neutrals palette. This is supposed to be sort of an all-in-one for your face. I like the concept of it. I do like the outer packaging on this, which is sort of kind of a faux leather. And this has both a cream and powder formula for each of the colors. I do like that it goes from a very light tone all the way to a very deep dark, I guess that's black there, but you get your nice dark browns here. You get some warm tones. These are neutral here. This is a cool tone. So there's a variety of tones here for different skin tones to work with. And people have talked about using this in their eyebrows as eyeshadow, as eyeliner, as contour, as bronzer, as lip liner, maybe even then lip itself, if you use, for example, this will be a great lip color. Okay, so the idea is that it's an all-in-one. And again, this packaging is very attractive, very minimalistic, but, you know, stylish. This is supposed to be sort of an all-in-one look with this palette. Here's the thing. I know myself, and I like to have different products. The all-in-one idea, I don't know. I know myself. I know that I probably will not reach for this palette as much as it deserves. This is kind of one of those makeup artist types of palettes. And so for that reason, knowing myself and my habits, I am going to remove that one. I'm keeping the Pharmacy Green Clean Makeup Removing Cleansing Balm. I use that, and I don't think that $36 for that tub is unreasonable. Could you get more affordable cleansing balms? Of course, friends, but I do like the texture of this. I am absolutely keeping my Tatcha Rice Polish Foaming Enzyme Powder. Now, this is a pricey product, $68. Wowzers. However, that tub will probably last me a few months. I'm using one right now. And my problem is that my Amore Pacific Enzyme Cleansing Powder is no longer sold on Sephora. Why did they do me like that? Why? So I've switched over to the Tatcha, and it's quite nice. It's not as finely milled as the Amore Pacific powder, but I'm going to use it nonetheless. So that stays. Now, let's go look at Seven Virtues, the Cherry Ambition. I already know. I'm going to remove this from cart. This artwork here, I think, is horrendous. Could we have done better? Could we have done better? I don't really like this minimalistic font on the Seven Virtues labels. I think it's uninspiring. Anyway, not awfully priced for today's perfume market. You get a 1.7 ounce for $88. The minis are $32, which is kind of run of the mill these days for a 10 ml. Should I get the mini? Okay, let's add the mini to cart and let's delete the big one, and I may come back. Natasha Denona, you are killing me, my friend. I am loving the look of this. This is dreamy, cool toned heaven to me. Would probably never do that look. Wait a minute. I would do the look minus this piece here. You know, like if you cover that and you look at the rest of the eye, that's actually a pretty cool look. Let's see. That's beautiful. That's, you know, classic, beautiful, nice grayish, what do you call that? Silver toned eyeshadow. That's beautiful also. That's gorgeous. She's gorgeous and the eyeshadow's gorgeous. That's a little too avant-garde for me there. Yes, I would definitely do that look. And do I need this? I have the Jeffree Star Cremated Palette, which has most of these tones. That Color Story doesn't have quite as many dark tones. Like, she really went for it with these. I do have some of these, at least like this, in my Eyes to Mesmerize Scott Barnes palette. Between that and the Cremated palette, I have this. But you know, friends, me and Natasha, she's like my makeup alter ego or something. I don't know. And I like the outer packaging. I like the black. I think I'm going to keep it. What I'm not going to keep is this Lawless Dreamy Dozen talc-free eyeshadow palette. I put this in here because I like the Color Story, but the fact of the matter is I am pretty loyal to the brands that I've come to love. And you know, it's like one of those things, like once you know what you like and love, why go experimenting? Why go experimenting? It's like cheating on your favorite brands. And I have a feeling that this formula is not going to be as amazing for me as the other formulas I already have. Plus, I have these types of colors, again, 1,000 times over in my collection. I don't like the outer packaging either. So we're going to remove you. My Sunday Riley Good Genes all-in-one AHA lactic acid treatment is absolutely staying. This price is redonkulous. 20% off gives you $41 off of that, so it brings it in the $160+ range, which is still pricey, but I use it and I love what it does for my skin. I am keeping Ellis Brooklyn's Mini B. This is like basically like a honey and cinnamon type of fragrance, which I love. Do I have 2 of the Glow Recipe niacinamide? Hold on a minute. See, this is what happens. I already have it here. I have it here. So let's go delete the one down here. And then the Glow Recipe, here's the thing. Okay, I really like this toner from Glow Recipe. I like the way it smells. I like the way it looks on my face. I like what it does for my skin. I don't really use toners. I don't use toners. I want to use toners, but I don't. Do I need a toner? Let's remove this. What am I doing? Let's get rid of that. I'm adding this Sephora Collection Size Up Volumizing Mascara because naturally Liz, my girl here on YouTube, mentioned that she really loves this. These are 30% off. That's not, you know, when you're talking about this price range, 30% is not a big deal. But I do like this wand. This hourglass shape is for me. I am a fan. I like it a lot. And so we're going to see what this mascara is giving. I'm re-upping on my Polish Choice Resist Youth Extending Daily Hydrating Face Moisturizer with Sunscreen SPF 50. This is a go-to for me. I have been through so many tubes of this. I can't even count them. It stays on my counter. It's a staple. And I like that it has a strong SPF. I like that it's sort of a lighter, thinner texture for moisturizer. It's not so light that you can't feel it moisturizing your skin. You do feel the dewier effect of it, but it is not overpowering in the sense that it sits funky under your makeup or messes with your makeup application. It sinks into the skin nicely. And here we have the 7 virtues. You know what? You know what? You know what? I don't know. Because here's the thing. Here's my cart right now. So let's take a moment to lament for what my wallet's about to go through. $302 off of that. It's going to bring me down into the $1,200 to $1,300 range, which is a pricey cart. However, the truth is I would likely... Oh, wait a minute. You snuck in here. This House Labs snuck in here. I was watching Muffets Loves. Look, she's adorable. Go check out her channel. And she mentioned this House Labs Bio Blurring Talc Free. I keep saying talc. Do y'all say talc or talc? Loose setting powder for $38. I don't need any more powders. I'm barely making it through the ones that I have that I love. So I'm going to remove that. It didn't help out my cart much. I'm still struggling with the total price here. But the point is, I would likely buy all of these things separately through the year anyway. So, and I have saved. I mean, like I have that to spend. I have a little what I call my own like makeup and fragrance fund where I put my little money aside and then I can use it for whatever I please. Do we have a travel spray of this? Oh, it does come in a mini. Let me do that first. Let me do the mini first of this. Even though I think that's a stupid price. You guys, they are charging you $54 for 0.25 ounces. Bombastic side eye, criminal offensive side eye. So then I can remove the big one. It helped out my cart a little bit. Okay, you know what? You know what? I keep saying, you know what? I'm gonna delete this Cherry Ambition. I'm really not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. So there we go. That's my cart. This is what I am going to check out with. Lord. But it's like my gift to myself. It's my gift to myself. All right, friends.